Yep, here I am.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so just to recap, since we started the recording, Jesse asked me, "How are you feeling?" And I said, "Well, I just realized that I'm a star mother," and didn't ask to explain that, which is probably good. But we realized that that statement was kind of silly, or it sounded silly. So we've been exploring silly and what it has to do with innocence. And there's Pascal. Good morning, Pascal.
Good morning, guys.
So we've just been exploring silly. How things that aren't rational across as silly. And as human beings, we kind of avoid that. We avoid silliness because of the kind of feedback we get.
Yeah, the tension, it's really the tension resolution between the I don't know and I know. And the stories, so we make up the stories where we figure it out to resolve the tension, rather than just the truth, just the reality. It's this, and allowing it to just flow.
Yeah, to stay in the tension of I don't know.
Mm-hmm. You know, until you do know. It's just to notice is not to what it is, to notice how we fill it in with speculation, with patterns, with a desire to need to know, because then we'll be proven wrong, or we will think we'll be wrong. And it's uncomfortable. So on top of it, the feeling is uncomfortable, it's scary. And so we work to resolve that. It just closes space for creation. Closes space for it to be silly. And when it's silly, we'll play with it. We'll have fun with it. We'll experiment differently. So that's the space in between. Silly's the space in between. It could be, if we allow it. So Craig, I don't know what that means. I have descriptions that I put around it. Those descriptions are just from my experiential expectations and speculations and meanings of the two words.
And memory.
Memory, yeah.
Context.
and some may have judged what you said.
Oh, totally. Especially coming out of a male mouth.
That's right. Didn't even think of that one.
Yeah, I've observed there's a lot of confusion around out there, in the messages that are going around about a lot of confusion with respect to maleness and femaleness,
Yeah.
masculine energy and female or feminine. It's like a man is like this and a woman is like this. There isn't any. Well, there's actually a distinction. That's the messaging that's out there, and that's not true. That's the fundamental teaching behind the I Ching. There's yin energy and there's yang energy. I Ching, the whole I Ching is about bringing those two energies into harmony inside a single being, and inside society itself, inside humanity, inside the collective.
Yeah, what baffled me is when people say, grow up. Why? And then when we get old, per se old, then people want to feel young, look young. You know, it's just like, it doesn't make sense to me.
That's silly too.
Yeah. Because when I go to, you know, a party, I'm the silly one. No, and I make people laugh and, you know, and I'm very silly. Very, very silly. Everything I can find to make people laugh, then I do it. And my wife, sometimes like she's like, you know how old? I'm like, yeah. She was like, you know, you should act like it. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Right?
Very few people have the guts to ask that question.
Yeah.
Why I should be acting sane? You know, is that like, okay, so right now I'm not feeling that way. So why don't I? Why isn't it okay for me to act the way I'm feeling right now? So if I'm feeling silly, what's wrong? Why is that not acceptable?
Yeah, and then when we're, you know, I did like a retreat, like a men's retreat.
Yep.
And one of the exercise is being playful, being like a child.
Yep.
But when you have the opportunity to be like a child, to be silly, people stop you.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
So it's like, it's confusing, isn't it?
Well, our society wants us to quit being a child as quickly as possible.
Yeah, so we become good worker.
Yeah, or something else. Yeah, so that we become valuable. There's one for you. You're not intrinsically valuable. You have to become something that is. Oh, that's a heavy duty one now.
Yeah,
That's-
you're not good. You're not good enough being you.
Yeah, it's to be compared to other people too.
You're not valuable as you are.
Mm.
There's no value there. So we have to create a value for you. I'm sure my autistic son would have loved to be able to grow up playing with Lego and hockey cards.
Mhm.
He would have been totally happy to do that for the rest of his life. And of course, that would be silly, right? So instead, we had to manufacture a value for him to live in. That has very little to do with his true nature.
Yeah, and when like people become like, you know, like in retirement home, we think they're just taking advantage of society. No, you know, they're not valuable anymore
Yeah,
because they're not contributing to work, and it's so wrong.
yeah,
Now, if you start talking to like, that's why I always relate to like older people because they have some experience.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to hear. Right? Growing up, like I get invited to a friend's house, and then like I spend most of the time with the parents.
Yeah.
You know, so talking to my grandparents is valuable. But yeah, they're not contributing to society per se, like they're not working anymore.
Yeah, that's why we stuff all these people into facilities.
Yeah, and we think it's silly. Yeah. Let's get rid of them because they're not valuable.
Here's an interesting thing that I observed when I was working. I spent about 3.5 years at a retirement facility. I was on a midnight to 8 a.m. shift, so I saw stuff that wasn't kind of normal day-to-day stuff. In fact, I spent a lot of time holding hands of people that were on their deathbed, and a lot of them I was with them. They actually died. So very interesting stuff. But what I've observed, and this is especially obvious among people who have Alzheimer's, is that they'll regress. Eventually, they'll regress into their childhood and go back to that. It's like I never really experienced my childhood, so I have to go back and complete it. I have to go back and understand it in a way. And I don't profess to know what goes through the brain of somebody that has Alzheimer's, but that's very, very common for it to be like that. And so spending time with people like that, just observing that. Like my father-in-law, for example, he would remember things like hymns he sang at church when he was a kid. And like he'd remember all of the words to them. He had Alzheimer's, right? So which is a memory thing, but he'd remember all the words to these crazy hymns. And it's kind of freaky to me that's what happens to people as they're regressing. Why is the return to innocence so gravitational, so magnetic? Yeah, that means something.
Yeah. And even like on the physiology of an older person, they start to curve just like a baby, right? They're going back to the, like you see a lot of people, like they have a round back and then like,
yeah.
Right. So
fetal position.
Yeah. You just,
yeah. Roll up in a ball, curl up like that. Yeah. A lot of those people I was just talking about, I observed them doing that too. That might be why, as we go through our lives, we experience so many deaths and rebirths. Each one of them is return to innocence. Each one of them is a starting over.
I think if you're a recalibration word, yeah. Aligning, recalibrating. Eventually learning the lesson, learning a lesson.
And the hardest lesson to learn is futility.
Futility?
Utility. Yeah, that this pattern is not valuable. Or that it's not useful anymore.
There you go. Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Or I can choose a new one to replace it.
Or I can choose a new one. Yeah.
That's how silly it is.
Or even better than that, I can craft or I can create a new one.
It's just silly to think that we're fixed in it and we just keep playing it over and over. And that's sane. That's the right way. That's what everyone does.
Well, that's because a lot of our patterns in the 3D are actually fixed. Like you learn to walk and you're going to walk the same way throughout your 3D life, right?
Mhm.
And it would be, it's really difficult to retrain that. It's become so automatic, right?
Unless you have to,
Well, yeah.
or
Exactly.
choose to. You don't ever have to.
Yeah.
It's what we fill the space in with. What story, what feeling, what speculation, interpretation, whatever we feel, well, better yet, rather than using creative tension, we resolve it. Prematurely.
That we're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Tension. Because it is stepping in the unknown.
Mhm. So my word today is phrase is I don't know.
silly, but it's profound.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah, exactly.
well, I'm just lining it up, right? It's like, okay, what situations am I holding on so tightly to? Which ones am I pushing so hard? And just as soon as you say, I don't know, it just relieves something from the body.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It just loosens something up.
Permission to say, I don't know.
Yeah, it disengage your thoughts.
Yep.
Mm.
Permission to relax your mind.
Disengage so that we can engage with something new. That's as silly as changes. And then timing comes in, you know.
Yeah.
Because we care about it. So timing shows up that as fast as possible. Which is the faster way because we've dropped all of the old patterns that we tend to just play over and over again, expecting a different change. Expecting it to be different. The same tension resolution patterns. When we alter it, we give space for something new, then and hold on to the same timing. Never fast enough.
And letting go of the desire for something to unfold the way it has before.
Yeah, for sure. The only guarantee to that is it may unfold like it has before. It may.
Yep.
You got to line everything up just right for that.
We tend to want to grab the security of that,
Yes, of knowing.
that it will be familiar. It'll unfold in a familiar way.
Yeah. Degree of control, huh? Replacing the uncertainty with certainty. And that becomes our pattern, replacing uncertainty with certainty. That is resolving creative tension. No wonder it doesn't work very well all the time, consistently. I realize I'm living inside of a creation 5 years ago too. It's like, coming to completion. It's like, interesting. It was an angry creation too.
Interesting.
Revenge, I get back. I'll show you.
Wow.
No, and it's going to work. It's just not the way I wanted it to.
Yeah, yeah.
Or is it?
You think
Or is it? Or is it?
that's
Yes,
because
I mean, for that one narrowness, yes, for that one narrowness, it's well on track to do that for 5 years.
think that has anything to do with the energy that initiated it?
Well, I think it has everything to do with it, is what I think about.
Yeah,
this. I say,
exactly. Yeah. You got an end result that kind of mirrors the energy that it started with.
yeah, for sure.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's big for me. The energy that started it. Oh my. Oh yeah. Oh man. That's why we've experienced so many breakthroughs in this group, in these sessions. Because the energy that started it was so compassionate and loving and equal and unifying and all that stuff. Oh, that's silly.
And just makes the future look better. Yeah, like makes the situations at some point later on better. Now I don't know when.
Well, it's like, yeah, it's like sowing and reaping, you know. Energy we sowed into it has, has multiplied. In
Does,
ways it's gone exponential.
yeah. A dissolved partnership. Yeah, it's about coming to an end 5 years later.
Wow. Oh. Oh.
I'm just asking myself, like, what do I need to unpack with that? What do I need to let go of? What's trapped?
Or do you just need to let it play out?
Well, I think awareness was one part of it, right? And so the awareness is there is to, you know, it will play out, but in the moment of now, I can see, in the awareness, I can release all the things that are keeping it going that way. Yeah. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
keeping it fixed. Yeah.
Detach from them. Yeah. Detach yourself from them.
Yeah. Because the unconscious is creating it that way.
The unconscious is carrying it.
Yeah, there you go. It's a better way to put it. In that same energy. In that same energy.
Yeah, it's a weight. It's a weight that you're carrying. Wow. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's good too.
And now is the perfect time to start.
Oh, yeah. Now, now I'm understanding why the choice of whether or not to engage with what shows up or not, to engage or not to engage. That's, you just described it right there. Okay, so this comes up and you see what it was, and you see what you created, and you also see that you're carrying that right now, and you don't need to be carrying it. Detach from it. You can disengage from it. You can reconcile with it. Yeah, what I just said is pretty important to me too. Reconcile with it.
That to me has been taking all that energy, releasing it, and then giving it something else to focus on, but in more of around what I'm creating now, that's in a different energy of it. It's that newer contract. So it's letting go of those old contracts and creating new contracts.
Yeah, in fact, what we've been discussing here the last few minutes has described the whole recovery process. My recovery process that I'm living through right now describes it really well, and gives it a completion. Yeah, I've been looking for that. Yeah, so this is. Oh boy.
That's what I asked. Is this complete? And I got a not yet, but then I got that won't be much longer.
Yeah.
So it's one of those not right now, but soon.
Yeah.
Another way to gauge it is, are you still excited about it? Because Bashar was saying, like, what I think it was like, the question was like, what's your purpose, or what are you supposed to do? And he was like, follow your highest excitement,
Mhm.
and until you're not excited anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, follow your mojo wherever it takes you.
And for me, it's been silly.
Oh yeah, mine too.
And I'm not done.
No, I'm just getting sillier.
Yeah. Why should we take life so seriously?
No.
That's the
How's
3D way,
how's
man.
it working? How's it working? Yeah. How well is it working? Taking it so seriously. Hmm. Yeah. Then we go to comparing it and proving it and saying, well, it's the only way that I know. Again, not allowing the creative tension to work. Not allowing the timing to work. And still end up with what we got. It's still pretty good. There I got it. There, it's complete. Interesting.
Got it?
For now.
Good, awesome.
Yeah, that's what I got. Now it's complete. I got the now it's complete words.
I think it was just a matter of awareness,
It was, yeah.
of letting go a pattern.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna suggest maybe group awareness as well.
What does that mean?
Three-way awareness.
Okay.
Yeah, because we were exploring that together.
When I first notice where I feel it, and what I feel. That's what it was for me to hear.
Will that weight anymore?
Weight as heavyweight or weight as waiting? Time.
Weight as heavy weight. Weight of heavy energy.
No, what I did was just as it ran through with a magnet to attract anything around that would be there. That was the metaphor that I got.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So did it pick anything up?
But yeah, but like little pieces is all. That's like the purpose of
Yeah.
a magnet.
Yeah, exactly. Shards of metal. Yes. Ah, bien.
Fascinating how certain structures would be all upset with, oh, you can't do that work like that. Huh?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
All those distractions, yeah, all those things going on. Yeah, it's like, oh, we have to be in a quiet meditative space. Oh, we have to be this, we have to be that. You can't do that while you're living life.
Oh no, that shit out of the water, man.
Yeah. No, we can just talk about it where we're at and be aware of it and let it go.
Yeah, that three-way awareness is, yeah, that's a powerful thing that we discovered here.
It always worked that way. We've just been aware.
Yeah. Well, and the cool thing is it's not therapy, and it's not a modality of any kind. You can basically do it with two other people. It doesn't really matter who.
That's silly.
Yeah, well, it is silly. And the cool thing is, like, I experienced a release from participating in that myself, and I'm pretty sure you did too, Pascal. Like, I can sense that. Like, there was something that changed. It was an energy tweak that happened for all three of us.
Yeah, I noticed it like when you the first time I noticed it is when like you worked with Sindrell.
Yeah.
A while ago.
Yep.
I was really quiet and I was just listening to you guys, and I was just like, I couldn't believe like how much energy was moving through me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so much fun to play with energy. And it's even more fun to realize that, for me personally, it's been really fun for me to realize that I'm innately good at it. You know, it just makes me want to practice more and more and more.
Well, that sure is silly.
Well, totally. It's not. Yeah, like this is not a skill that I've learned. Realization that that's the truth. It's not a skill that I've learned. It's a skill that I've had.
It's our true nature.
There you go. Exactly.
You just remember how to do it.
Yeah. Every day I meet with you guys, something else gets cleared, something else gets untangled, something else gets detached. Very valuable work we're doing here. Very valuable play.
Yeah, I would say it's play because it's fun.
Yeah. That doesn't mean it's painless, but it means that it's fun. It's always fun.
Yeah.
Painless is realizing we're causing our own pain.
Well, yeah, exactly.
That's what that was. That was what that release was for me.
Yeah, you crafted your own energetic heaviness.
Hmm. Revenge,
Carry it around.
revenge is a bad one. Revenge is a nasty one.
Yeah, pain is inevitable. Suffering is a choice.
I don't know if I agree with that one. That hasn't been my experience, but I'll just leave it at that. I know for me personally that I made a choice before I came into this life to actually live through a certain amount of suffering. That was part of the picture. Because the experience of that suffering unveiled a lot of power that I had to have access to. So what I'm saying is that there was a gift inside that suffering. It was a huge gift. So I understand that statement differently than it was stated.
How would you say it?
I'd say that there's value in pain. There's an even greater value in suffering. But
Yeah, I think there's value in both.
it's difficult to see. It's difficult to see it.
That's the point to it. Yeah, it's hard to see in the moment of it, but when you look back at it, when you release it, then you can be grateful you're done with it.
Because the way I see it is like if you hurt yourself, two persons hurt themselves the same. Or one maybe like play the victim, and that's, to me, that's suffering. Or like the other person will just accept it and move on.
that would be true if it was that simple. That's how the fixers like to explain it.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's easy, but you know, for some people it is easy. Other people it's not.
I found that I couldn't address that directly. Because when I addressed it directly, everything just got worse. You know, that has to do with attention and focus. And it really depends on what kind of victimization you actually experience. I died when I was victimized. That's pretty extreme. It's extreme, yes. That's not just something that you snap your fingers and it's over. I was told that many times.
Well, all you got to do is let it go.
Right. Yeah. Well, I was told that over and over again too, and I'm going like, hey.
You didn't know that, Craig?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's the multi-awareness that we're putting this morning.
Right? Oh, exactly. It's like you got three perspectives that are examining something and bringing it into awareness, and all of a sudden there's a whole lot of stuff going on energetically there. Between the three of us, right?
The three silly men.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, I like it. I like it. It's not the three wise men, it's the three silly men.
Yeah.
We can make a movie out of it, eh?
Three stooges.
Yeah.
Three silly men. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that released quite a bit, eh?
Yeah.
When you say I'm silly.
Yeah.
You know, it's different. I think it's got it. Well, I don't know. I can't say it's different for everyone, but I have to assume it in a way it is. And it was you know, all the information that I get through it is not that it's it has meaning is the point, I think, and it's unique meaning to me. And I think it's unique meaning for everyone when they listen to it, when they sense it, and when they work through it.
Yeah, we all get an image, a different image, right?
Yeah. You know, and as I go and then as it plays out, I can say, oh my goodness, that makes so much sense, right? To that. And then I can see is like, oh, the tension of it is different now than it was before.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
And so the images are important. And like afterwards, it was what I noticed for me was there was the dam broke.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you see that as an image or?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I asked, well, okay, what could that mean? What could that mean? And I don't always use it because I didn't use it then, but it was like, I used, what does it mean?
Yeah.
And what I got was, well, you can be heard now.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, yeah. So you knew there was a completion.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever that means. A completion. So a sense of a completion. And yeah, and you can hear now. Wow.
Completion of revenge too. So not that all completions have to be positive or negative.
No, neither one. Completion is always neutral. Just a completion.
Yep. So
Oh,
often we think it's got to be so often we're waiting for that good completion, right? And it's like, oh, that's the cause.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, not the completion. So did you realize that revenge had something to do with your hearing, with being able to hear?
Thanks, Craig. Good question. Give me a second. Pascal, I'm going to put you on mute, bud. Is that okay?
Okay, no worries.
Just unmute when you're ready or when you want to say something. Thanks. It wasn't my hearing. It was others. It was those that needed to hear the message that could hear it. That was what the revenge
okay.
released.
Yeah,
so that was the frustration in the background, right? That has been there around being able to hear, you know, the passion, the purpose I'm after. So all wrapped up, $250,000 wrapped up inside of it, you know, for 5 years.
Right. So frustration because people couldn't hear you.
Yeah. And so sitting in the tension of that, right? Just sitting in the tension of it, the frustration of it, all of it. And then it was like today, it was like, you know, it was like, oh, the dam broke, and it was like, as the dam breaks, then it was like, oh, what does that mean? And it was more of like, oh, now it's like people that need to hear it can hear the message.
Oh, wow. Wow, because they couldn't hear over the noise of revenge.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, 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 wow. that's silly.
Mm-hmm. All the money wrapped up in it, and I mean the limitation of money all wrapped up in it for 5 years, and oh. But oh God, was it what I created?
Yeah, you couldn't hear over the charge.
Yeah.
Charges. Yeah. Just a bundle of charge.
So we are associated with that
Form of
project,
dark energy.
even when you put makeup on it.
Oh, totally. Yeah. It's still.
Oh.
You know, here's a kind of side note on that I'm coming to realize is that I'm realizing an ability to discern when energy is dark or heavy.
Mhm.
And as those, you know, like you were just saying with that revenge thing, as that gets cleared, your discernment around that is gonna be a lot more sensitive around dark energies. You know, that's how I discovered that the thrive instinct is rooted in dark energy.
Mhm.
At dark energy. And it's dark energy that sells.
Mhm.
That's the other side of that.
Yeah, it is, for sure it is.
That's why people hire lawyers. They're carrying around dark energy, and they want to delegate it. That's what my wife did.
Quite interesting, and then it's just the way things are playing out with all the people that were involved in that too. That's what opened that up now for it too. So it opened up bigger. Not in a bad way. It's just going to open up a whole lot better space.
Yeah. It opens up space for you and brings you to a choice point about how involved that you want to stay with that whole scenario.
Mm. Hmm.
Because you can just step back and let it play out. You can.
Hmm.
You can assign some love and compassion energy to it. You don't have to play in the sandbox anymore.
I love it. It's from the outside, it's like, oh, but yeah, here you don't do any work, and it's like, yeah, you're right. Creating really isn't any work.
Well, yeah. Yeah, what was meant to be an accusation is actually a compliment.
Right. It's like, yeah, I mean, I can understand how you say that. I can understand how I would infer that, and especially if you don't understand creation.
Yeah.
Full circle. Oh my goodness, full circle.
There's no responsibility or accountability in play, you know.
Yeah,
absolutely none.
Timing, Dan, you and your damn timing.
Yeah, well, that too. It's, all you know is that it could be time to let go.
Not even like knowing, not even knowing and what it was, needed to let go.
Yeah.
Sitting in it, however long been sitting in it. And for whatever reason, it was that issue this morning, as we're coming up on completion, in reality, we put a $1.8 million cap on it, and anytime I went over $1.8 million in cap, I had to pay $250,000 to my partner.
Yeah.
It's going to land. It's going to be about. We'll blow by it just as the 5 years comes to completion. Now, silly that we were. I was holding back that. Now, did I really hold back that? It's like, oh, the creation. No, I didn't. I don't. Maybe doesn't matter, but
It's all just learning.
It's learning about how those creations, and the more we become aware of our creations and our ability to create, the more important do they become.
I just want to note there's no lessons in that. There's no correction of behavior or anything like that in what we've just been talking about. There's no behavior adjustments required.
The result is though, but the result is, so from the outside it would look like that, yes. Because at some point everyone always asks what changed. As if they want to find it so that they can change it in themselves.
Right, exactly.
And it's not just one thing, it's accumulation of things. Yeah, this is when it took place, 2018. Two years before I started this work, a year and a half. About a year later, I started this work. Yeah, started to become aware of it, of what I was creating. So still cleaning up old shit, right?
Yeah. See, and here's what I'm getting here too: is change isn't something you do, or even something that you intend
or look for.
But it's something you step into.
You allow. Yeah. That's part of the tension. That's part of the sitting in the tension and the space and not needing to know, right? If I would have filled it in with shit, I may not have got here as when I did, and I may have gotten here quicker, but I don't think so. I know my old patterns and my old structures was to continually fight that, right? Which is what created the revenge.
Yeah.
So now I have years of not playing that pattern or like getting better at it. And then we start accumulating those rewards at some point, right? Who knows when? I mean, I do tomorrow, now, and tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it's not in the expectation. The expectation is we expect it to be grandioso at this moment we change again. The moment we intend something new.
Yeah. there's the intention.
We start practicing something new, we're looking for that new outcome. And man, there's so much momentum wrapped up in the old ways that we have to untangle from that.
So we practice a brand new cause.
Yeah. We can be, there's a practice
Well,
and
exactly.
be a brand new cause. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good too. Be a brand new cause.
So energetically, I
Making the
forgave him.
Kabbalion practical. You ever read the
Yeah.
Kabbalion?
No.
Oh, you got to read it. We're playing in that space. Anyways, the Kabbalion is basically laws of the universe. I think there's
God, I
seven
love
of
those.
7 of them. Yeah, you'd really like it.
How do I, can you put that in the chat for me? Just so that I know how to spell it?
Yeah.
Or you can spell it to me in the aloud.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat too. It's KYBALION.
Kabbalion. Okay. Thank you. I wouldn't have been able to spell that.
Oop.
Yeah. What I was saying there is like I was, and I've done it, but I thought I did it before, right? I thought I energetically forgave, and I did, right? I did.
Yeah.
I just don't think like it was a different space and time and a different so it wasn't fully complete, and
Yeah.
I thought maybe it had been. Well, and I even called and worked to make amends with it, but then. Besides the point, it was energetically I could.
Yeah.
Energetically I did today. That was part of what doing it today.
Yeah.
So I think it's a valuable lesson is that we don't have to do anything with, and then sometimes we do, but energetically we can do just as much, if not more.
Oh, much more, much more. Because the energy is always true.
Well, and I think that's where when we're talking about I don't know, right? We really don't. We can settle I don't know, and that becomes the truth.
Right.
And then the what to do about it can really come through as much as we can allow the I don't know to exist, only to
Yes.
that degree.
Yes.
And only do you know it works is how you feel at the end of it.
Yeah.
That's the true measure.
I know when I reconcile some heavy energy, I just feel light. I just feel like I'm floating. It's like my body feels like it's levitating. Recovery for me is about releasing and clearing a heck of a lot of heavy energy, heavy dark energy, and so some of that's mine, but most of it isn't. Most of it's like in most of it's in DNA and like previous lives and generational stuff. It's a combination of a lot of those things. As I understand that, I get a lot easier on myself as to how long it's taking and what I need to be doing to maintain my body and my energy and that kind of stuff.
It is. It's a lifetime of accumulation.
Yeah, it's lifetimes of accumulation.
Yeah, lifetimes, and it's like even if we just think of this life, right? It's just an accumulation of feeding that over and over and over. And if we're always creating, we just keep creating that over and over again. And what we're doing now is to unwind that and want it faster.
Well, and it's also the culture and the society and the systems and the institutions, and it's all of that stuff has to do with it as well.
Expectations.
Yeah. In 2022, I bore a lot of violence that was perpetrated by the legal system on me. I didn't deserve that. But I'm pretty sure that was part of my soul's intention coming here when I did. How does systemic stuff get reconciled?
Unloading a whole lot of shit, that's for sure.
Well, exactly. I mean, that's part of the story around Jesus and his crucifixion, right? He was, I mean, the way it's told today is that he was bearing all the sins of the world. And I don't know how accurate that actually is, but the principle behind it, I surely understand and relate to, because I've experienced that myself. And I wouldn't use the word sins of the world anymore, but I certainly would use the term about heavy and dark energies and are actually ruling the planet at the moment. Well, that's going away too.
Just the more and more that we untangle.
Exactly. That's why, like, this work we're doing, and and these three silly men is so profound. Today, this very day, in this very session, we put a dent in it.
And that ripples out
Exactly.
to all that were involved, And it just wasn't me and him.
Right. Well, exactly.
And that's, man, and does it get clearer? Wow.
Yeah.
The future gets clearer. The creations get clearer. The visions to the futures get clearer. And I mean, in that sense, it's like our awareness opens up. Part of what you said is like, as you clear it, right, you feel lighter. Yes, I felt that. But I also noticed that I could see, like I'll physically see more detail. It was just in that moment, right?
Yeah.
Just the immediately afterwards, but then our body settles into the newness.
Yeah, you're kind of hit by, what did I just do?
Yeah, I mean, anymore.
What just completed, or what?
Yeah.
What's happened here?
Yeah. Well, for the first time, definitely, but then as you do it more often. Less frequently, much deeper.
Morning.
I can't help but think about the next, but I mean, so there was that one, and then we were in a conversation about it to be bought by another company.
Yeah.
Or the CPA that brokered our deal, he was the one that brought me in on it. And we said no on that one, and then he brokered another deal, and we're going to replace all of their work.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it will be.
What's interesting about this too is your awareness, the awareness of the energy behind everything, really gives you an advantage. And sorry for using that term for it, but it's really true.
Oh man.
It's just
and
the advantage of that perspective. It's unbelievable.
Everyone has to come back and face their energy.
Yeah. Well, it gives you the sight to see the game that's being played.
Yeah, it does. It gives you the whole view, and not everyone has seen the whole view. And I don't claim to see the whole view myself. I just see a bigger view. And it will be quite fun because she insulted us with quite an insultful offer, I thought.
An insightful offer?
Insult.
Oh, an insulting offer.
That's not too far away, but still a lot that can happen. I'm not, yeah. Just checking, making sure I'm not revengeful of it, yeah.
Yeah,
Not at all.
I've received so much clarity today. This has been just off the charts for me. Oh, boy.
Yeah, not every morning can be like that, yeah, but when they are, we appreciate them.
They usually are.
Yeah. Different, it's usually, I can say like it was a big shifts for me, because that's that was the focus today, I'd say.
Seeing there's different qualities of clarity.
Yeah. And for different timings.
Yeah, for different timings and different situations, which goes back to the principle of discernment that I brought up a little while ago. Discernment can be fine-tuned. So I'm starting to see. And that it was all there all along. All available. It's a heck of a lot more fun when I'm pretty silly,
So
man.
yeah, it's like, so how do you know it worked? It's like I sit there with that sensation, that feeling that I've had, that almost a frustration, a uneasiness, not fast enough, and urgency not being heard. Like all of that is like, just away it went. And so then it's replaced with a calm, a peace, a clarity, a new sense.
Yeah, I call that euphoria.
Yeah, and it's probably, that's too big a word for me. It's too big. That's too big, too fancy of a word. But
Too silly for you?
I'd say, well, that there's so much behind that word. There's just so much in that charge of that word that I still hold, right? And I think society does too. But for me, my situation, it was like, yeah, like for where it is right now, yeah. And at the end of the, like letting go, so that it's like to be able to, now I can move forward without knowing that was holding me up before this session.
Yeah.
All in, I don't know.
Yeah.
And working and surrounded by others, right? Not doing it alone.
Yeah. And for me too, the freedom to not understand what just happened, or not have to understand.
Mm-hmm. I don't like that. I continue to find fascinating is, for whatever reason, like when looking back at some point, this will be very popular.
Oh yeah.
Right, but not in the moment.
Yeah. Well, you can hold the tension of that.
No, yeah. Well, it's baked into it, right? When you know what you're doing, and I don't say that I know what I'm doing, I just know what I'm doing better.
Yeah.
I can see what I was doing in my structures, creating the structures, and now with intention, desire, intention, thoughts, feelings, actions, beliefs, habits, and behaviors. Awareness, that's just awareness on that wheel, awareness of that wheel, of that cycle. Zoom
Well,
in, zoom out of that.
Yeah, here's one for you. We know what we're doing, but we don't understand it.
Mm.
Don't have to understand it.
Mhm. We don't have to, yet we really want to.
Yeah.
And that is what's causing all the depression, all the anxiety, the frustration, the dissatisfaction. Okay, so a breakthrough morning.
Yeah, no kidding.
We gathered, we broke through, and we scatter. That breakthrough scatters.
Yep, ripple effect. In some cases, even a domino.
Mhm. Any parting words, Pascal? Or Craig? We wrapped all that up. Let's wrap it all up. Like what just happened. Let's see. Let's go to, we named it. What did we name it? Space of Not Knowing is what the title is today. So hi, Pascal.
Hi. Yeah, the only thing I would say is like I relate it to like health again, like illness. It doesn't matter what works and what doesn't, as long that that's your end result, right? So at the moment, like you don't care that if you take like turmeric or whatever, as long as it works. You know, so it's the same thing with your end result. Like it's like it doesn't matter what you do, but if you just focus on that end result, then it doesn't matter how it's unfold, right? So.
Yeah, forget about trying to evaluate progress,
Yeah.
because you can't really.
That's good. Well, you can. What it does is it just limits how it can show up.
Yeah.
And so I say we all do it to a certain extent. We just don't. We want to have as few barriers around it as possible. Give it the best shot to show up in the greatest way possible, and play is a way to do that.
And we want to get to that finish line the fastest. When there is no finish line.
Yeah. That's why you focus,
And when we
you focus on the feeling of it, not on
Yeah.
the accomplishment of it.
When we put a finish line, that's when we're limited.
Yep.
That's where our limitations is.
You say, probably 6 days of sitting in a certain mood, if you will, like a little irritation, frustration, not moving, not being heard, not going fast enough, not really knowing what the source of it is and wanting to resolve it faster than that. But rather just doing my best to allow it.
Yeah.
To acknowledging it, acknowledging that feeling, acknowledging that uncertainty, acknowledging I'm not doing enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not being listened to, I'm not doing enough, I'm not into it enough, I'm not, and whatever it was, like there was versions of that. And then all of like allowing all of that to be released today in the space of not knowing. And only after the fact, like after asking the question, sitting in it, allowing the breakthrough to happen, And then seeing like, oh, what does that mean? What does that mean? Asking that question of my visions of my processing. And it was like, oh, no, now you can be heard. Ah, wow.
Oh, yeah. Timing thing too for you.
Timing.
For us.
That's right.
A lot of stuff came together.
Well, yeah, timing, it's almost a 5-year thing. 5 years ago was the thing that was limiting, holding it back. As soon as it was there, it was like obvious, like, oh, I could see the creation. I remember the moment that I created it, if you will, and fed it and gave it energy. And haven't in quite a while. We haven't talked about it as a partnership, or I haven't even thought about it as a thing. I just know as it's coming to a completion, it's like, oh, I can see it now. And the past doesn't matter. It's only matters from this point forward.
Yeah.
And as creators, the more that we can be in tune, attuned, fine-tuned to the reality, to the truth of now, is where the spaces can be created, the breakthroughs can happen. The
Yes.
creations are given life, are nurtured. And so rather than avoiding and releasing the tension in the wrong way, we allow it to create the tension and pull us towards it rather than trying to get out of it. That's the beauty of I don't know. And it's not going to be an immediate result. Yeah, there's still things that have to take place along the way. But by the time September rolls around, when it will be complete, it will be pretty interesting. Either way, I don't know which way. Well, guys, anything else before we close out?
No, I think I'm complete. Feeling complete. I've been walking for 2 hours, and there's my home.
There it is. Well, welcome home. And yeah, thank you. Thank you both. I'm going to go create a story why they can't say no.
So thank you for being silly together, boys.
Yeah.
Three silly
men.
Was. Well, have a
I'm
great
gonna
day,
rename
guys.
in my Facebook group that 3 silly men.
Three silly men.
Mm. Yeah, you too, guys. Have a good day.
All right. Thanks,
you too.
guys. Bye.
Big love.
Mhm.
You too.